What is your full name?
Full name is Sally Jane Douglas Rector.
All right, and when and where were you born?
When? I was born July the 1st, 1950, so that tells my age. And and I was born in Terre Haute, Indiana, at St. Anthony Hospital.
What were your parents' names?
My father's name is John Jacob Douglas. My mother's name is Edna Louise Schaefer Douglas.
Did you have any siblings?
I have 4 sisters. Would you like their names?
Sure.
The one below me is Leslie. She is a nurse practitioner. And then I had Lori. I didn't have, but Lori, and she works in Indianapolis, Indiana, as a distributor manager. And then I had a sister that passed away, Susan. She had a brain tumor. And then my youngest is Ginger, and she is a teacher in Munster, Indiana.
Alrighty, and where did your parents grow up?
My father grew up in Denison, Illinois, and my mother grew up in Marshall, just south of Marshall.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the country in Marshall.
What made you decide to teach?
Well, good question. I don't know, I just always enjoyed school, and really when I was going through high school, there's 2 things that I kind of decided between. Either was a secretary or a business teacher, because that was the area that I really liked. And I thought, gee, after I went 2 years to college and I enjoyed it, so I decided to go on and fulfill the teaching career.
Yeah. How many years did you teach?
I taught 38.
Yeah.
What kind of things did your family enjoy doing?
Let's see. Growing up, my father was a 4-H leader, so that was the biggest thing. We didn't go to town every day when I was younger, and so probably enjoying activities of 4-H and being a 4-H member, and then also we were involved in the church, so church activities. So those are the 2 biggest things that we did as a family. And of course we always had cousins over, it seemed like all the time, or we were going to their house, and we just did things like that as family.
Alright. And obviously you stated that you lived in the country, so I guess you didn't really have a neighborhood, but did you have any neighbors that you remember? Sometimes you have neighbors that influence you.
Well, I don't know if they influenced me, but real close neighbors live close to a railroad track. It was funny, I guess you would say. They liked, whenever we went over there, they really liked their trains. When a train went by, we had to listen as it went by. But then, too, we were close to the clients, and I know in I think it's junior high, they gave dancing lessons, and it was the old gym, and we would trade rides and come into that, but that's, and then, like I say, my cousins, we lived kind of close, and we just went back and forth to each other's houses and just went to the creek and things like that.
Where did you attend college?
Eastern Illinois University at Charleston.
Alright, how were meals prepared when you were at home?
Oh, my mom was a good cook. I mean, we always ate together. She liked making rolls for breakfast and cream pies for breakfast. And I can always remember then she would bake on Saturday, and then Saturday night we'd have that like a breakfast meal. We would have the rolls and then of course every morning we would have rolls. But she made noodles. I mean, she was a good cook.
So you guys didn't go out much?
Gosh, no.
Yeah, that's definitely changed.
Oh, yeah. And I can remember, we always went to church on Sunday night. We'd go past Tasty Freeze. I don't know if you guys remember that. And I said, I'd be thinking in the backseat, Dad, stop. But we didn't even get to stop very often. But every once in a while we did, Just wasn't something we did.
Did you have a job before you became a teacher? Like, did you have a job while you were in college or anything?
Not while I was in college, but 2 summers I worked at the telephone company in Terre Haute. Because my junior and senior year in college, then I got married. But, gosh, I didn't work then, I just
Right.
helped out on the farm.
And kind of connecting to that, did you have like any chores that you had to do at home?
At home, the only chores, well, yes, of course, we was in 4-H, and we always had livestock. The main thing was pigs, and we had to take care of our own livestock for that. And the only other chore, well, I guess there's more. We had chickens, and one thing I hated to do is to go gather the eggs and then to wash them, I can remember doing that, and that wasn't fun at all. We had to trade off on Saturdays, like we'd watch the car, and during the summertime, we had to trade off doing that. And sometimes we even washed the car down at Blizzard Ford.
Yep.
It's kind of funny.
What were your favorite activities to do?
When?
Good question.
You
Like-
mean during growing up? Or-
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I think the main thing, like I say, was 4-H. That was just a big part of our life, because that's where we got to get out, you might say, be around people. And during the fair time, it was a big deal. And I know my cousin, Lynn, we just had a good time together in 4-H. And that's just something we always look forward to.
Do you have like any memories of your education? Like what time you really shined during college or something like that?
Oh, gee, let's see. Well, I learned something when I was in college once. One of my business teachers, I don't know what year I was in, and she was my shorthand teacher. And it was raining. I thought, I'm not going to go to class. And I didn't. And guess what? She gave me an F that day. So guess what? I didn't skip class again. So that's one thing I learned in school, Now, as far as teaching, I can think of something, and I don't know how soon after I started, but they declared a snow day in Marshall, and I was living in the country, and, well, dummy me, I guess, I didn't go. I guess I thought, but it was supposed to be if teachers could go, you were supposed to come in. Well, I didn't even try. So I felt so bad. And I think they let out school early that day. But anyway, I thought, oh, that was so embarrassing. Because I didn't even attempt to go in.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I answered your question or.
You did.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're married?
Yes.
Who are you married to?
Gary. And he is a farmer, and we have cattle as well.
When did you guys get married and where?
Let's see, we got married in the year 1970, August the 1st, 1970, and we got married in Marshall at the Zion Church, south of Marshall.
All right. And kind of like before that time, like dating, were there different rules like to dating? I mean, obviously things changed throughout time, but how was it back then?
Oh, well, gosh. When we dated, we dressed up. I mean, I can remember going in heels and a dress, and we'd go to, what's the theater called? Anyway, the theater, and you'd stand in line, it's crazy. And I don't know what it cost, but it was cheap. And then after that, we had enough money after that, then we went to like McDonald's.
Yeah.
And, everything was cheap then, you might say, compared to what it is now. But, like I say, the big thing is you dressed up, and the theater was full, because I only had 2 at the time in Terre Haute to go to. And that was the big thing that we did.
Right.
Do you have any kids?
I have one son, Chance. Yeah. Do you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know him, but we get asked, and I just I really enjoy your mother-in-law. I think
Oh, wow,
she's so sweet.
At the nursing home,
Yes.
yeah.
What were some fashion trends like then? A little more colorful, or
Gosh, what did I wear? I didn't wear blue jeans.
yeah, that's definitely something that's changed.
You would. Oh, yeah. You always had a dress on. Gosh, what did we wear? I don't know.
A lot of
I guess I can't answer that question, you know.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if you had to say what was the hardest part of your job as a teacher?
The hardest part. Well, the part I didn't like was always grading papers. You know, I don't know if that's the hardest part, but sometimes I guess the hardest part was to make sure you were trying to reach all the students at the level that they were at so that they could understand, you know. When you have so many in the classroom, that's a big challenge, I guess you would say, to try to tailor it to everybody.
I think we forgot to ask you, what kind of teacher were you, or what grade?
Oh, here at the high school business, and when I first started, I probably started with, they call it typewriting.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, then I even taught some bookkeeping. Then it wasn't accounting, it was bookkeeping. But then, of course, as years progressed, then I got into the computers and the shorthand part. And then, of course, with the computers, you had all your different programs. So it was fun.
Do you remember living through any historical events, like stuff that, you know?
Well, two things that really stand out is when John F. Kennedy. I can
Right.
remember I was in the old gym, PE class even. You know, it's funny, you know
Right.
exactly where you
know
were.
Exactly.
It was PE class, and they come on the loudspeaker to say what was happening. I remember we was all sitting down on the floor. And the other thing was 9/11.
Right.
I was teaching, and I didn't know anything about it. I know Mrs. Fitzgerald come in and whispered in my ear, you know, what was going on at that time. So
Right.
those are the two things that really stand out,
Right.
you might say, in my lifetime.
And what was your favorite part about teaching, or what really stood out to you?
Oh gosh, the kids. All their different personalities. I mean, it was just fun, you know, because they were young, and it made you feel vibrant, you might say, also. But it was just fun, you know, to stay in contact. Because now, not teaching, I just feel like, you know, I'm just out. I don't know what's going on, you know. So it's just being around all the kids. And I made some really close teacher friends. Mrs. Fitzgerald, Mrs. Hasten, both. I mean, we still get in touch with each other all the time, you know, and we had close ties. So it was a good working environment.
Do you see any big changes between how the school system is set up now and how it was set up back then when you were teaching?
Well, believe it or not, I haven't stepped foot in here since I left.
Really?
Yes, it's terrible. Because I know if I don't have my own classroom, I'm just not going to, even though I enjoyed it so much, you know. So I don't know if I can answer that because I don't know. I can't really say what's going on.
Right.
Now.
Well, I can tell you that now we can use our phones
Right.
in between
Yes.
in between passing periods and during classes sometimes. Like, basically everybody has their phone out. You can use it, so.
Yeah, I can remember. See, that was a big problem the last couple of years I was teaching. They'd have their phone in their pocket, and of course they were good. They could text, you know, and every once in a while looking down, and
Right.
I'd have to take it away. You know.
Yeah. Have you noticed like a big difference just between the kids? I mean, obviously when you were younger, I feel like the respect level was higher.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You took the words out of my mouth. I think respect is
Right.
a thing. Because, and maybe it was different. I think when I was in school, I would say the word scared. I wasn't really scared. But, you know, I would not have said a word to a teacher that, you know, to question them even, you know. And I know that's changed a lot, you know.
I mean, of course, there's still people who are very respectful, but
Sure.
there's also people who aren't. And
Yes.
I just,
Yeah, I think that's a big
Big
thing. Yeah.
even with the fashion trends too, just how you guys dress very respectful,
Mhm.
dresses and skirts, and now not saying everything isn't respectful, but
Right.
it's definitely different.
Yes. Yes. The times change. Yeah.
Do you have any advice that you could give to future teachers?
Oh gosh, I just loved it. I don't know. But you have to love what you do. You know, that's not an advice to the teacher. If you go into the teaching field, you'd have to love being around, you know, whatever age group you choose. I'll tell you a little story. I know I wasn't fit for an elementary teacher. We had a choice. Our football team, I think, was doing very well. We had the choice of going on the bus to supervise, or we could fill in like an elementary level. I thought, I didn't want to supervise a bus. So it was in first grade. I filled in for a first grade teacher. Oh my gosh. Of course, it wasn't my classroom either.
Right.
But the kids, I couldn't keep them in their seats. You know, they had to show me their tooth was out, or, you know, just different things like that. And I let the wrong row go first, and I had somebody crying. So I thought, you know, you have to know what you're best suited for. And so I thought, yeah, I made the right choice, you know, in high school. Because I like to be able to tell pretty much, you know, what to do, and they do it, supposedly, you know. But as far as advice, just love what you do, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
What were the most influential sports when you were in school? Did you participate in any, or what?
When I was in
Right.
high school,
Yeah.
the only thing we had was GAA, Girls Athletic Association, is what
Right.
it was called. And I mean, that was you just played. We met, I think maybe 2 nights a week, and you just play volleyball, basketball, scooters, you know, or whatever, you know, different things that they had in the gym. But it was just among yourselves in the high school.
So it was their sports for boys, like football and baseball. The school?
That might have been it.
Right.
That might have been it. Yeah, those two.
Do you have anything else important that you think you should share with us today?
Oh gosh. No, just love what you do and enjoy life to the fullest. you
Yeah.
know. And I've learned over time, you know, you don't hold grudges against anybody.
Right.
You know, just enjoy life. That's all I can say. You know, it's been fun and I've enjoyed it.
Right.
All right, well, I think that's all we have for you then, so thank you.
Oh, that wasn't too bad. Good.